Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back for another Out of the Theater review. And on this video, I am over at the AMC, and I just got done watching Mutiny, starring Jason Statham. I am a big Jason Statham fan, and so I like to support, especially opening weekend. I really enjoyed this film. It is kind of amazing that he could just keep making the same movie over and over and over again. And people still like them, and they still make money. The nice thing about this screening is it is a Sunday. I caught the 11:30 show, and it was older people, like grandpa older people. And I like that. It looked like a lot of these, older people could be maybe from the military. And so they were, wanting to see something that they could, I don't want to say relate to, but it's more of kind of their thinking. I did find it interesting. There were 3 older black women in this, and the entire audience was just old, older men with their wives. And I thought that was very interesting. I almost wanted to ask them some questions, you guys are Jason Statham fans. And it's just like, what, looks like you're maybe coming from church, and what made you pick Mutiny out of all the movies out there? But I didn't. So, but I thought it was cool that that it was definitely a, kind of a slightly diverse, audience watching this. The film is just a little over 90 minutes, maybe like 95. It is R, which is great. So there's a fair amount of blood in this. The audience did seem to like it, and it moved at a good pace. I figured that with Statham getting older and probably not being able to do everything that he used to do, stunt-wise and stuff, that they have to kind of maybe figure things out. So I thought the acting was good. I thought the directing was good. I thought the editing was good. I really liked the soundtrack. I'll probably pick it up. And the story was fine. It is regular Jason Statham affair. It does deal with, and this is, I don't think this is really a spoiler because a lot of this stuff is in the trailer. It deals with human trafficking and kind of like a working man. It's funny with Statham because he just, you could have the same story with him take place in like 4 different places, like 4 different movies, and the films are still good. They're still entertaining, and he's still that guy in every movie. He's just not a guy who, I don't know, works at a gas station or something, or I don't know, I could see it right over here, works at a 7-Eleven. He is always the ex-military, ex-cop, ex-KGB. Normally something is done wrong to him, and so he has to go out for revenge. And I don't know if it's in his contract or not, but I think he has to get like physically hurt at least once or twice in the movie to show that his character is human. And, that he's just not Super Statham, and that he could just, kick ass. His butt gets kicked a few times in this. And what I was going to say earlier is, with him getting older, that the editing in this, I think, is fine. There's nothing really fancy about it or anything, but the action scenes, it is quick editing. So I wonder if the, Is that done on purpose because he's just getting older? Is this maybe the style of the director? Is this maybe the style of the editor? But it still worked, even with the quick cutting, with the fight scenes. The fight scenes were still good. They moved very quickly. I don't think that you would go like, oh, look, he's getting old. Oh, look. Never. I never thought that at all. He still looks really good. And but if you look back in the day for things, and we're talking way back in the day, Transporter, he does a lot of wide, long shots. And I just don't think maybe he could do that anymore. But that's perfectly fine. Like I said, I'm a huge, fan of his. I'll pretty much see anything that Jason Statham is in. There's a few things that I would like to avoid, but maybe when it gets to that point, I think he did some film with Melissa McCarthy, Spy or something, and oh God, I don't want to watch that. But maybe at some point I will. So the idea of this is that he's a bodyguard, and I'm not going to go into spoilers, but I will say he is a bodyguard. Something bad happens. He needs to get onto a cargo ship to find out why something bad happened. And from there on out, it's all on this cargo ship. I like how the beginning is the ending, and like the ending is the beginning type of thing. I like that it has a nice bookend feel to it. It starts on land, goes to water, then goes back to land. The very beginning of the film, you're kind of like, huh, what? And then that comes back later. There are a few different storylines going on. So, I mean, there's the selling of this company. There is Statham trying to find out what is going on. There's a female character in this. There's a woman, very cute, who can handle her own. She ends up on the ship, and she is kind of a companion with Statham, and she knows the ship. The third mate is sick. They call her in. She reluctantly goes on board the ship, this cargo ship. That's another thing. This is called Mutiny, but there's really not a mutiny. Everybody on the ship works together. Nobody mutinies. I guess she kind of mutinies. And then Statham is on there to find out what had happened earlier in the movie. I think maybe a more appropriate title would have been Cargo, but I don't know of too many movies called simply Mutiny, so maybe that's why they did it. There's a fair amount of films called Cargo. So, but she handles her own. She is really good with Statham. She knows the ship. He doesn't. She gets beaten up. She beats up. She's a good character. She is not a like a DEI type of thing, or a Mary Sue, or whatever. She's not a Rey. She's not a Rey Palpatine. She's a good character. So there's, like I said, there's several storylines on this. So there's the reason why Statham is on the ship. There's Statham's own backstory. There's the woman that's on there. There's the captain and the crew. There's their story. Then there's another story with these, I guess they call them pirates, that go onto the cargo ship. And then there's also a military ship that is in the area that is going to see if there's anything wrong with the cargo ship. So there's a few stories going at the same time. If I'm letting anything out, I apologize. I don't really think I am. That wouldn't be beyond the trailer. But I normally don't like films that take something that happens in the movie and they put it in, like, as the opening scene. This, I think, works, and it ends perfectly. Like, it ends exactly where it should end. We could maybe even get a, I don't know, we could even maybe get a sequel to this. I mean, I guess that you could do Mutiny in Space, and Statham his character goes to the moon, goes to a space station or something. They could do that. But it would be nice for him, I think, to get back into doing a series. I mean, he did leave Transporter, and then we got Transporter Refueled that did not do well. He did the 2 mechanic movies, and then the awful Expendables 4. So it would be nice to maybe see him back in a franchise. But like I said, he's getting older. So, but he doesn't show it. He doesn't look it. He doesn't show it. And there's plenty of close-ups on his face. And I was kind of looking for little surgeries here and there. I didn't see any. So maybe he just has like a really good plastic surgeon, or he just hasn't had any. But should you see this movie in the theater? Yeah, you should. You should definitely see this movie in the theater. And because the soundtrack is good. It is kind of a one-location movie that it, for the most part, all takes place on the cargo ship. And for those who just don't like one-location movies or whatever it might be, you got the beginning and the end that are back on land. There are no like mid-credit scenes or anything like that. And it's funny, as in the last video review that I did, which was for Insidious Out of the Further, I said, God, I don't know, maybe I should have gone to see Mutiny instead of this, because I just wasn't really a fan of Insidious. But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I saw Insidious when I did, which was at night at a different theater that I normally go to. And then I came back to the theater that I normally go to because it's close to my apartment. And I loved seeing it with the older people. You know, I thought that was really cool. You know, and it was quiet. You know, it looked like they were getting into it, but in a mature adult type of way. And there was one scene near the end where people did go, oh, and I was one of them too. So they were definitely paying attention. They were aware of what was going on. So, like I said, I do recommend this. I do recommend the theater. If you can't get to the theater, at least check it out streaming. I don't really think Statham has made a bad movie lately. I enjoyed Shelter. I enjoyed, A Working Man. He just keeps doing it. They're the same movies over and over again, but I don't know, I'm okay with that because the guy is so likable. And there's even a movie coming up, I think it's called Jason Statham Stole My Bike. And I want to see what that is. Maybe, I think he's playing himself in it. So, if I could rate this 1 out of 5, I definitely give this for Jason Statham movie. I definitely give this a 4.5. As far as a regular movie goes, I give it a 4. I definitely recommend it to the general, populace that is out there. But if you're a Jason Statham fan, it is definitely a 4.5. This may even go up because I know I'm going to buy it when it comes out. So it could even go up on the Jason Statham, ladder, the ratings for Statham movies. So, all right. Well, I really appreciate you guys watching. And I don't know what movie I'm going to go see next. Insidious and Mutiny just kind of came out around the same time. Well, they did. They literally came out on the same day. So I'm not sure what else is coming up soon that I really want to see. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. I guess you'll see a video when it pops up, with something new. So, all right, everybody. Thanks. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video. Okay, bye.